I think you came to the right spot, because I think I know exactly what Sony's trying to set up.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
So if you're anything like me and you went to YouTube looking for, reviews, reactions, discussions about that post-credit scene, you found that most people said it made no sense whatsoever. So I think the best way to start is to break down the post-credit scenes. So let's start with post-credit scene number 1. So the first post-credit scene starts with the purple crack opening, just like in the end of No Way Home. Soon after that, you notice that the Vulture was actually sent over to the Sony Venomverse or the Spiderverse or whatever you want to call it. But he was sent over similarly to how Venom was sent over to the MCU and right back, just like all the other villains in the end of No Way Home. Same effects, same graphics, same CGI. It gives you a little glimpse into the fact that the Vulture knows that he was sent over. He doesn't know the details, he doesn't know exactly how it happened, but he was sent over. So this is where most people are going crazy. They're saying this doesn't make any sense. They're saying the Sorcerer Supreme wouldn't make a mistake like this. And this is where I'm actually going to have to disagree with most YouTubers, where this actually does make sense. Maybe I shouldn't say sense, because magic isn't mathematics, right? We saw mathematics beat magic, but at the end of the day, magic doesn't really have much sense. There isn't logic to magic.
Hey, I like this guy's mathematicals.
So the reality is that when you break down what actually happened in No Way Home, you'll realize that it actually is quite feasible that the Vulture was sent over. Originally, the spell was simply to make the entire world forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Peter Parker, right, starts to piece together the fact that even his loved ones are going to forget. So he meddles in, he damages and actually alters the original spell, and what happens? The exact opposite of the intent. Villains and even Spider-Man from other universes were sent over to the MCU because they knew Peter Parker, or some sort of Peter Parker, was Spider-Man, or a Spider-Man. So clearly, Doctor Strange's plan and even his understanding of the spell didn't exactly go the way he thought. We cannot expect Doctor Strange to know absolutely every detail of the spell, and this is where a lot of people are playing magical mathematics. So to be very clear, Doctor Strange tried to do one thing and the complete opposite happened. So now we have to get to the ending. The fix essentially was to now do exactly what the original spell was going to do. Have the entire world forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And in doing so, it was sending the villains who did know Peter Parker was Spider-Man back to their universes. But this is where I believe you do have to play a little bit of magical mathematics. So the Vulture would have been one of those people to then forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. He was already in his original universe, so why was he sent over to the Sonyverse? Well, just like the original spell didn't exactly do what Doctor Strange intended, I'm assuming that the spell that sent off all those villains that knew of Peter Parker botched together and included the Vulture, where it doesn't seem like that should have happened, but the spells and magic don't work one-to-one. It's not like one-to-one equals boom, presto magic, it's done. It doesn't work like that, and clearly Doctor Strange cannot look at absolutely every detail of a spell, and this is where I believe another villain was sent and might explain the second post-credit scene. Before we get into the second post-credit scene, I just want to say that the spell did not go perfectly as intended, right? Just like his first and multiple attempted spells, and that's why he will be punished in Doctor Strange 2, because he actually failed to do his main duty to protect the MCU universe from the multiverse or other dimensions or other dimensional creatures. So he failed in his main duty. So let's not look at Doctor Strange like a perfect student of the game. He is a student of the game. He's still learning. So pay attention to that. And I don't believe the Vulture being sent off to the Sonyverse is consequential to the MCU universe. Like, in other words, it wouldn't have prevented the purple crack from closing. So although the Vulture was sent, the purple crack would have been closed regardless, and that would have been okay. Having said all of that, I haven't heard anyone speak of this, but the director of the movie did allude to others being sent over. And now that I told you that it's clearly possible that the Vulture was just botched together with those other villains, right? We're now coming to the second post-credit scene, and we have Morbius driving his car like a commercial, and he meets the Vulture in a full-on suit. The suit is very sophisticated. It's very reminiscent of the Homecoming suit. So it's like, how the hell did he do that? How did he create a brand new suit out of nowhere in a brand new universe where he has no money, has no resources? So my main theory is that the Tinkerer was sent off to the Sonyverse, just like the Vulture. Maybe the Scorpion is sent off over there. Maybe the Shocker was sent off over there. Maybe Mysterio, we don't even know. But at the end of the day, I am sticking to my guns that the Tinkerer was also sent to the Sonyverse, which explains why the Vulture had a sophisticated suit just like he did in Homecoming, and is actually almost 1-to-1. And if your question is, how is the Tinkerer involved in any of this? Well, the Tinkerer has access to the internet, has access to the television. He also knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man, so he would have been sent off in the same kind of token. They were all botched together unattendedly. Damn, why I decided to pause right here, I look like a goofy. But either way, I just wanted to mention the fact that I think a lot of people are having a hiccup on why did the Vulture have an idea that it was Spider-Man. I don't think he knows for sure that it's Spider-Man in his mind, but who else would it be? He just fought Spider-Man, right? He didn't have no beef with no one else. He didn't have beef with the Avengers. So I think typically he would have thought that it would have been Spider-Man. That's why he's a villain of Spider-Man, because he always trying to find beef with Spider-Man anyway. So to conclude, as you see, most YouTubers are looking at this scientifically, and you can't do that. This is magic. It doesn't necessarily have logic involved in it, and there's so many kind of hiccups and details that could have been messed up. Doctor Strange was all messed up at the end of No Way Home. Let's not act like Doctor Strange was in his best wits and in his best game. He just lost to Spider-Man. I do believe the post-credit scenes have a little bit more sense than most YouTubers will make you to believe. And I believe you should still be looking forward to the Sinister Six Sonyverse, because there's so many villains coming together, and the Vulture is absolutely wonderful and awesome, and I can't wait to see more of him. And if you want to see more videos like this, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mixed Martial Mike.